friends, this is Tasha with a date with my craft room. Today I'm sharing with you a tour of my craft room. As I have recently cleaned and organized the heck out of it, I thought while it was still clean I would share with you what it looks like. This is the front door. This is my sign that I picked up at Joann's about a year or two ago, and I absolutely love this. It says, "This is my happy place," which is absolutely true. And as we come into my craft room, you can see that I pretty much have IKEA desk and shelving everywhere you look. So this is kind of an overview. My room is not very large. It's about 10 by 11, and the walls have been painted lavender. This is actually a rental, and so this is the room that I chose for my craft room. All right, so I figured that we can start on the left-hand side here behind the door. I have these IKEA shelves that hold my Martha Stewart punches. And then I have some extra punches that wouldn't fit on the shelves inside this little bucket. Very cool. And then we'll move on to this wall. This is a craft touch that I purchased from Michael's a few years ago. And it holds all of my buttons, my sprays, my glitters from Martha Stewart, and all of my Heidi Shine. Love my Heidi Shine. And so this hutch can actually be hung on the wall, or it can be standing. And so I stood it on this set of Alex drawers. Now this is two wide sets of Alex drawers, here and here. And I've chosen to stack them on top of one another to create taller storage. And then over here I have a skinny Alex drawer, and this is just one unit, this one. So on top of my Alex unit right here, I have my Scentsy, which I absolutely love. I got this as a present from my mother-in-law. He makes sure that my craft room smells nice and clean. And then on top of this Alex drawer, I have this cute little tray from IKEA, and I hold all of my vintage trims, lace, and handkerchiefs. I found all of these in my storage when I was pulling things out to decorate my craft room, and I decided they're beautiful. Why not display them so that I can see how beautiful they are every day? And then right here, this is a vintage plastic container that I've had passed down from my mom, and she holds little thread bobs, so those are kind of cool. And then I was telling my friend Emily about these. I purchased these. These are actually rubber doilies, or plastic, and these are vintage. I purchased 3 of them at a flea market, and I just think that they are really, really cool. So that's the top of that Alex drawer, and then we'll start and go through all of these drawers. So I'm in love with Maggie Holmes. I have 4 drawers full of Maggie Holmes supplies. I started from the newest, and then it goes to the most vintage and the oldest. So here I have the Flourish collection and the bits and pieces that I have of Willow Lane. I still haven't completed that collection yet. Next drawer, I have Carousel, and then I have Gather. And underneath Gather, I'm pretty sure I have a little bit of Chasing Dreams. So I have them separated by collections. Here I have Shine and then Bloom. And I think I have, yep, underneath Bloom, I have Open Book. And so I have my collections kind of separated as much as I can. They're stuffed full, these drawers. And then these are my vintage pieces. So here's some crepe paper craft market, some crepe paper notes and things. Here's some pieces from flea market and style board. Some older embellishments that you can't find anymore. This is confetti. So this is all the pieces of confetti that I have. And underneath here I have the 12 by 12. And then here, back here, I think I have 6x6 of style board. Yeah. So this is my vintage Maggie Holmes drawer. Love. This is my twine. It has all of my jute, my twine, my glitter ribbon, some more trims from Target, some more pom-pom trim. Really, really fun drawer. Next I have, this drawer is kind of a hodgepodge of things. It's got burlap, cork. I kind of tried to make it chalkboard, cork, and burlap. And then I've got some mini albums that I can use for future projects. Next, I have my Tim Holtz drawer. Now, although this drawer may seem a little messy, it's very organized. This is a whole bunch of ephemera that I want to keep together. I've got some Tim Holtz pieces here, some wax seals, whole bunch of like Tim Holtz bits and bobs. I also collect vintage ephemera and things, and so I've got some more vintage pieces. I plan on using this Viewmaster, these Viewmaster pieces in a junk journal. So I've got my very cool, fun stuff that I use for junk journals and things of that nature. And then here I have some vintage postcards that I have been collecting for a while. And then also I have, this is really cool. I'll share this with you. This is an actual, I guess a yearbook where people, like this is from 1932. And this is where this lady like got all of her classmates to sign her yearbook. So that's pretty cool. And I just found this at a flea market. And then there's some more Tim Holtz items. So this is kind of my junk journal drawer. Next, this is tissue paper and napkins. So this is where I hold all of my textures and really, really pretty things that I can use for my art journaling. More Tim Holtz tissue paper, some tissue paper I picked up at Tuesday morning, and some beautiful floral napkins. I like to have those on hand for collaging. This is more vintage, vintage paper and textures. So in here I have some old sewing patterns. I like to use the outside of these for really fun vintage junk journals. I've got some bits and bobs here, some more vintage pieces of ephemera that I can use. I picked these up from Tuesday morning. So anytime I want something old, I just come in these drawers. Let's get down here now. The next drawer is watercolors. And this has all of my watercoloring supplies. In addition, I put some of my Jane Davenport artsy kind of washi tapes in here. I've got my watercolor sets. I've got my paint palettes. I've got my watercolor bowls that I got from Faber-Castell. I've got my real brush pens from Arteza. And I've got some already pre-made watercolor and alcohol ink backgrounds. I'm also a big fan of art impressions, and so I keep all of my art impressions supplies in here. So I keep my art impressions paint palette and some watercolor paper on hand. So anytime I want a watercolor, I just come to this drawer. My next drawer is also mixed media, so I have all of my alcohol Yupo paper and things in that drawer. I've got my gelatos, perfect pearls, stickles. I've got more alcohol inks, the blending solutions, some of these little guys, and some flocking powder, and then my distress stains. So this is all mixed media in this drawer. And the separation, like I guess this tray, I got from IKEA as well. So I really love that drawer. And then lastly, this drawer is kind of a hodgepodge of things. It's got my art journals. It's got some Happy Mail, some things that I've gotten from other people, other crafters, some popsicle sticks, and then here's some previous journal art journals that I've done. And then this is my Tim Holtz stamp holder. So that is that entire drawer. So let me stand up here and we will go through the Skinny Alex drawers. So we're going to start with this. This holds all of my Scentsies. I absolutely love Scentsy, and they have the most wonderful smelling tarts. Love, love, love. Then I have sequins. These are my sequin holders, and as you can see, I had a little bit of a spill with this little set, so I'm going to have to separate these. But I absolutely love these sequin holders. They are amazing. So I have 2 of them in here, and they hold so many sequins, and they fit perfectly in these drawers. So I love that. And then I also have my glass glitter here in the front. Next I have wood veneers. My wood veneer drawer is overflowing as usual, but when it's not overflowing, it looks kind of good. So I've got all my wood veneers here in these 3 containers. And as you can see, I have them all separated. Pretty nice. I just need to stop buying them, basically. I know you guys can agree with me. It's really hard to stop buying. So that's wood veneers. And then I have my bits and bobs. So this is one of my favorite drawers. I purchased these little containers from IKEA. They all come out like this, so I can pick one up and take it to my desk. I've got bows, more bows, some flowers, little clothespins, flare, and then these are brads. I've cut up all my brad packages, and I have them all stacked in here so I can just kind of flip through them. I figured if I did that, I would be more apt to use them, but that hasn't happened. In this drawer, I have my doilies, some more paper bows. These are all paper bows. And then these are all glassine bags. So I like to keep all of my glassine bags together. And then here are little tiny envelopes and more glassine bags. Super cute. This is my Heidi Swap mink drawer. I have all of my mink tags that I can use with foil. I've got my mink accessories, my deco foil, and my mini mink. Next, I have paper clips and brads. I have separated all of my paper clips into these little tiny containers that I picked up from Daiso, I think. So I have all of my paper clips separated. In the back here, I have some resin frames that I've picked up over the years, and then I have some more buttons, and then some paper straws that I probably will never use, but they're pretty. This drawer is gems and jewels. I have so many flat back pearls, some of these flowers I got from Martha Stewart. I've got all kinds of little knickknacks, and then in this I have separated my most precious jewels, and then I also have some shaped sequins. So those are really pretty and fun. And then I've got some more shaped sequins, and I've also got my brads in there, so that's kind of cool. I picked these up from Joann's. I really like these. They're called Pop and Lock. I really like those. And lastly, this is felt and texture. So I've got some really fun texture to play with if I wanted to. I've got some crepe paper. I've got my felt colors. I've got felt embellishments that I've picked up over the years. I've got some tassels. Really, really fun drawer. So that is my IKEA units on the left-hand side of the wall. Now let's pan over and we will look at this side of the room. On this side of the room, I have my tower that I list on my music, and I have a long IKEA desk connected with a short IKEA Alex drawer and another one over here. So on this side, I keep my typewriter, and I have this cute little light that I got from IKEA as well. But I have my We Are Memory Keepers typewriter, and in this drawer, my husband comes in here sometimes, and so I have a drawer for him. And this is his junk journal that he likes to kind of dabble in. So that's his drawer. This is my stationery drawer. I keep my typewriter refills from Typecast in here. I've got some planner notebooks and little paper pads and things like that. And then I've got my planner. So this is my stationery drawer. This is my Xyron and Edge Punch drawer. So I've got my Xyron refills and my Martha Stewart doily Edge Punch. And then I've got some extra fun foam. So that's a really fun drawer. Next I have vintage books. I have a problem. I collect vintage books from garage sales, estate sales, flea markets, wherever I can find them. And I have a hard time using them because I bought them for junk journaling and things like that. But I really honestly have a hard time using them because they're just so beautiful. Like, this is just so cool. This is one of my most recent finds. Look at the imagery in this. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. I've also got some old Disney golden books that I want to use in certain projects. I've got this really cool vintage book. This is called Children's Guide to Knowledge. It's from 1954. Look at these images. Like, how stinking cool is this? It goes from like animals to like nature, bugs, trees, horses. It's just so freaking cool. I love this book. And I think this is really cool for art journaling. And junk journals especially. So, and then this is the last drawer. It's got more vintage books. It's got some photos I've been meaning to scrapbook. It's got some bits and bobs for my sewing machine. Just jam-packed. So that's that drawer. And then we're going to pan over, and on this side I have my Big Shot machine, and then in this fridge container I have all of my dies, and they're all labeled and in their Avery L pockets. I also have embossing folders in the back. On the side here are dies that I still need to organize and put in their respective sections. And up here is an IKEA shelf that I bought, and we hung it on the wall, and I absolutely love it. I have a metal tee I got from Michaels, my vintage fan, and I have got all the mini albums that I've ever made, including my December dailies. And then I've got a container I bought from Michaels for my wood mount stamps. And then in these drawers, I just have some extra supplies. So I really like that shelf. Okay, so moving on, I have my washi tower. So I have all of my washi that I own in here, and it's all organized into colors and type and all that jazz. And then in this drawer, which I have by my desk, let me move my chair. This is my most used set of Kallax drawers. This drawer has my scraps, my baby wipes, and things that I grab the most when I'm scrapbooking. I love having scraps nearby so I can practice stamping. I use it to mat photos, all kinds of fun things. Here's my heat embossing drawer. These are all my embossing powders. And I have done what Jennifer Maguire did, where she takes the embossing powder and she does a sample that she puts on top so you can see what you're actually using. I also have my containers of the most used colors. Here's my acrylic blocks and extra inks. Here's all my foam, my fun foam that I use to create dimension. Here are some tools. These are my most recent tools. I just picked up this cute little We Are Memory Keepers mini envelope punch. And then here's some other tools that I use. And then here is the extras drawer. So this I have extra blades, magnets, Dymo refills, some extra glue dots, adhesives. This is all extra fun stuff. Okay, so let's look at my actual work area. I set up my actual work desk to be as functional as possible, and I think that I've achieved that. I think that it works really well for me and how I craft. So looking at my space, To my right, I most often grab my pens, my watercolor pencils and pens, and my little doodads to pick up small items. So I really grab these a lot. So I have these in this little twirly bob thing that I picked up at Hobby Lobby. I also have all of my Copics and then my Marvy watercolor markers. Slid in between these two are my other most used tools, is my Hampton Art stamp repositioner tool, my mini scoreboard from Martha Stewart, and my stamp cleaner from Stampin' Up. Here I have my Distress ink swatches, as well as my oxide swatches and my hex chart for my Copics. So I keep that very close by. Then I have all of my Distress inks. These are my only Nuvo drops that I own, so I haven't quite figured out where to store them. But I'm keeping them right there for now so that I can see them and actually use them. These are all of my Distress inks that I own. And then here on this left-hand side are all the oxides that I own. And then here is all of my paper tray ink dye ink pads. I was really into paper tray ink when I first got into crafting, and I still love them. Now, directly in front of my workspace, I have this tower that I kind of created using 2 cubes from Michaels. This top cube, on top I have my Crafter's Companion diamond press. It's a miniature die cutting machine. I have some extra foam pads from Tim Holtz for my oxides and my inks, Distress inks. Here I have my stamp chamois from Lawn Fawn. I have my most used black inks that I like to use with stamping and embossing. Here I have all of my phrase stamps, and I have them all coordinated with washi tape and these tags that I've created. So I took each one of my phrase stamps, I stamped them all out, put a piece of washi at the bottom of the tag, and then put the same washi on the top of the phrase stamp so that I could just pick out what I wanted. I believe I got that idea from Adele from Inky Quill. So that idea was not my own. And here's more date stamps. I pull from these quite often, so I love that they're right in front of me. These are not properly labeled. I've just been lazy and not labeled them. I already know what's in them. So in this drawer, I have all of my tags, which I use quite often during my scrapbooking and crafting. Here I have this drawer that is jam-packed full of enamel dots. Love enamel dots. In this drawer, I have my tiny alphas on the left and some puffy stickers and more alphas on the right. I grab those a lot while I'm crafting. These are my most used punches. I decided to put them in the drawer in front of me so that I didn't have to stand up and go to the back wall where I keep all my other punches. And these are my most used twines and threads. So, like I said, I've created this to be functional for me. In this drawer, I have my adhesives that I use the most. I use my double-sided tape, my red line tape, my foam dots, my foam tape, a couple of tiny runner tapes that I don't use, and then some glue sticks. On the left here, I keep my ATG gun. Right here, I actually put my newest items that I like to use before putting them up. I've got my alcohol lift ink I just bought and a couple of Distress oxides that I just bought. I need to swatch them before putting them away. And this I just got from my crafty friend Emily. She's so awesome. She made these charms for the Seattle Scrap Gals Retreat, and I love it. If you want to check out her Etsy shop, this is her Etsy shop. She makes amazing charms. Love them. Shout out to Emily. She also has a YouTube channel. So I'm keeping that there until I decide what I'm going to do with it. Here I keep on my desk all the time is this little tray of tags and little labels and things that I can grab while I'm crafting. And as you can see, my setup includes 3 lights. This light and this light I picked up from Tuesday Morning for 15 bucks. And that light at the top I picked up for 20. I do recommend purchasing your lights from Tuesday Morning as they are the cheapest prices there. Here is my tool caddy. I absolutely love my tool caddy. It is jam-packed full of all the necessary items that I use for my crafting. Scissors, stamp cleaners, craft knives, corner punch, crocodile, staplers, and glue. Love my craft caddy. Super cool. Then over here, I have put my sewing machine. I have set it up to where I can just pull my chair right here and just sew on my projects. I really, really, really wanted the Stitch Happy, but my husband was like, no, Tasha, you have a sewing machine. So he's right. I know he's right. And then I have some vintage spools. And then I have in this little milk bottle some vintage measuring tape and thimble. Over here, I have my Raskog. This is every crafter's must-have. I have all of my mixed media. On the top layer, I have all of my Nuvo texture pastes. My, actually, it's all of this is texture paste and gesso and white texture paste and Tim Holtz texture paste. These are Heidi Swap, these are Liquitex, and these are Art Anthology. So I love having those all together. Then I jerry-rigged my paper towel holder. On the second layer, I've got nothing but acrylic paints. So these are all my acrylic paints. Winsor & Newton, some regular Craft Smart ones. Got a couple Heidi Swap. And then down here is the bottom layer. This has my Dilutions paints, my Liquitex inks, which I love, my Tim Holtz foam stamps, and then these are all of what I consider to be art journaling stamps. So I like to keep all of my stamps used for art journaling together, separated from my regular stamps that I use for card making and scrapbooking. So that is my Raskog. And this is my huge closet that my husband took the doors off of, and we have everything stored here. So this is called the Kallax unit, and everybody knows that you can find this at IKEA. I only have one at the moment, but it works for me. At the top, I have my Halloween and Christmas bins. I have these really cool white plastic bins that I got from IKEA that I have all of my stuff labeled, envelopes, sewing notions, things like that. Here I have two of those containers that you can pick up at Michael's, and it holds all of my ephemera. I have them separated into the photo boxes by collection, of course. I love separating my collections into iris containers. So I have these all separated. Valentine's crepe paper, that includes Main Squeeze, Heart Day, Hello Love. Crepe paper Oasis Wild Heart here and there. Crepe paper Cool Kid, Cute Girl. Crepe paper Little You. Over here I have these separated into seasons, and that's because they're not crepe paper. Anything that's not crepe paper goes in these bins. So I've got summertime, Thanksgiving and fall, Easter and spring, Valentine's. Then here I've got some travel items. Disney, Chamel and Dear Lizzie, Pink Paisley, Jen Hatfield. This has got my new Heart of Home in it. I can't wait to play with that. Amy Tan, Authentique, and Typecast. Typecast is the We Are Memory Keepers collection that they came out with when they first came out with their typewriters. I went crazy and bought a whole bunch of that collection. Alright, to give you an overall view of my Kallax, I have all of my albums at the bottom. I have these drawers and doors. So we'll go through here. This holds all of my 12x12 paper pads. Yes, I have them all contained within one 12x12 cube. Aren't you guys proud of me? Since I don't have that many, I do label them on the sides, and I find that this works for me because I can just look and see which ones I want and grab it. In this drawer, I have the Project Life cards that I've purchased that I use every once in a while. And then I have some embellishments and things that I haven't gotten to use back there. This drawer I use to have my extra handkerchiefs to store, and then little bits and bobs that I can pull out to put on my desk when I'm crafting. In this door, I have all of my collections separated into these really cool Hobby Lobby folders. So this is my brand new Auburn Lane collection, and I have it all together in this little envelope, so when I'm ready to play with it, I can just simply pull it out, put it on my desk, and start crafting. Here's another one. I've got all of my Journey Pink Paisley Outfitters, so this whole thing is just full of outdoor stuff. And this works for me very, very well. In these drawers, I have, these are mainly envelopes and things that I can use for mini albums. Like I can use these for my mini albums. I've got page protectors. I've got more of these little guys. I love using these tabs. I've got more, well, that's odd. It's just hanging out in here. It's a little postcard. I've got page protectors for my mini albums, some envelopes. So this is all about mini albums. This drawer is. Next up, I have this drawer. And this is my Traveler's Notebook drawer. So I have all of my Traveler's Notebook inserts and covers. And then sometimes I put my charms in here. And then here's all of my 12 by 12 albums. I prefer to use the leather albums that you can find at Michael's because I can use a coupon and only pay $17 for them. Next up, this row is all of my stamps. I have the Jennifer McGuire method where I separated all of them into Avery L pockets. They're all labeled. If they have a matching die, I do put the die with them. Let's see, does any of these have matching dies? Anyway, I do that. That's what I do. So that's all of those. These are stamps that I have recently acquired and I still need to put into their Avery L pockets. And then these are more that are actually organized. Back there, I have some wood mount stamps, mostly background stamps, but I do have some wood mounts that are too large to fit in my jar I have on my shelf. These are all of my art impression stamps. I prefer to keep all of these in their original packaging because I really love the packaging and how it comes. I love that company, by the way. Next up, I got these little perfectly fitting bins in my Kallax unit. These I got from TJ Maxx, and they hold my thickers. So I have all my thickers color coordinated. These are all my gold, rose gold, black, and gray. And then I have my white down here. These are my neutral colors. Over here, I have all of my colors of my thickers, and they're all color coordinated in a rainbow. So I can just thumb through and find what color that I want to use, which I really love that. Over here, I have these two magazine holders that hold some random, yeah, totally random stuff. I don't know what that is. Totally random stuff. These have magazines, card and scrapbooking magazines in this one. This one has like patterned paper, some odds and ends in this one. Oh, it's hard to do this with one hand. Sorry, guys. And then here's all my chipboards. So these are actually my extra chipboards. My original chipboards are with their respective collections. So I have all my chipboards up here. And then I have this package that I got from Hobby Lobby. I love these little 12 by 12 envelopes. I have all of my vellum and acetate that have patterns are in this one. And then I have my plain acetate and plain vellum. Then I have my my magnet sheets. And then I also keep my 12 by 12 stencils in one of these as well. These things are really handy, I have to tell you. And then here, I also adopted the Jennifer McGuire method with my cardstock. These are my 8.5 by 11 paper tray ink cardstock. And then back here I have my white, my Nina, my paper tray ink white, and Craft and Black. And then I have these two units that I purchased from IKEA, and they hold my 12 by 12 colored cardstock, as well as my black, neutral, cream, and white. And I think that's it. So that's my entire Kallax unit in all of its glory. I love it. I tried to make it as functional and best for me. And then here's one more overview of my, oops, there's my rest cog. Let me move that. One more overview of my desk. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this craft tour. I hope it wasn't too long and boring. I really tried to make it quick and efficient so that you could see how I function and what my craft room looks like and how it feels to be in here. Thank you so much for joining me, and happy crafting. Bye guys!